Hi and welcome to The Abundant Warrior. This is the purposeful journey and everything that you need to know how to live a spiritually full, financially free, and confidently unstoppable life. And why it's so important now is that your world needs you. So if you felt that calling, that deep inner pain that sort of gets stuck in your throat, this is definitely for you because I know that feeling so well. I'm Alexandra Gold and I'm also known as a woman on purpose, and I help spiritually purposeful women to get on their path of clarity. And that means being comfortable where you are, knowing exactly what you want, who and how you want to be. And I do that by being an integrated, practical and spiritual mentor. And what does that mean? That means that I've done that. I've been there. I haven't learned from anybody else. This is all the path that I help show you and guide you with the right questions so that you can answer yourself with the right answers, because every single one of us is unique. And I've been on my journeys. And I say journeys because they're different journeys. There's the business journey, the spiritual journey, the religious journey, the political journey, everything in our life means that together we can amalgamate that and be confident and fulfilled within ourselves. So each one of us is different, but you have to be on this journey and make the time for you to decide what that is. And in this very short mini course, series, whatever it is, I just want to be incredibly honest and tell you that you are needed now. If you're feeling that you're not ready, there's never going to be a right time. This is the right time. I'm recording this in Spain during lockdown, during COVID. I'm not sure when you will watch this, but I suspect that it will be the right time for you. And it's the right time for me to make the journey incredibly easy for you to see. It's not a journey that doesn't take a long time. I'm not going to lie to you that it's easy, but once you're on it, you can never get off it because it pulls you through the bad times. You know your purpose, even though it may not be defined and it may change over time. It can pull you through the bad times, give you the momentum to push forward and live the dreams that you want, not society, the ones that you want that are right for you, so that you can feel confident enough, independent enough, stable enough in order to give your gifts from a place that is magnetic. It is purposeful, and people can see that through example. You cannot break the truth. The truth is the honest who you are. It's who I am, and this is my purpose. So I just wanted to make a really small course to show you the exact steps that you need to take. Whether you decide to take them with me or not is irrelevant, because this is my purpose, and my purpose is to show the world that we could all make the world a better place if we are each and every one of us spiritually full, financially free, and confidently unstoppable. And I want to welcome you to the Abundant Warrior series. It's not because I am arrogant about what I know. I just know that it's the truth. And if you find your truth, that it will keep you on a path the way you're solid, secure, comfortable, happy, and able to help others from that place of worthiness, of self-sustainability, and you're giving from overflow. And it's what the world needs right now. And going back to that, when I first took my plan to save the world to a business advisor, and I literally made a plan to save the world. It was called Pioneer, which was an amalgamation of pioneer and utopia, E-utopia, which means a good place. It doesn't mean perfect. It wasn't a perfect plan, but it was a start. It was something that I've been through for the last 10 years. I'll go back into my story a little bit so that you can get an understanding. In 2002, I was diagnosed with a brain tumour. It was a huge tumour. The doctor hadn't listened to me. It actually come through my head, and they told me I was a vain woman. My son was 18 months old when it first appeared, and I was told that I had postnatal depression from feeling that it was sinister. And I was led down the garden path and I didn't trust myself. I felt unseen, unheard, and unworthy. But on the night that they finally diagnosed me, I made a promise that if I got through it, I would make the world a better place. And I've stuck with that commitment, that vow, that promise. It was to myself, the universe, and anybody who would listen. But basically, the seriousness of it, of the commitment that I'd made to myself, gave me the strength to pull through everything. And that was 10 years of disability. I lost my forehead eventually to disease of the bone because they hadn't diagnosed it early enough. So it was 10 years before I was finally fixed. I'm not perfect now. I've got dents in my head and bits like that, but I can live with that. And I just wanted to let you know that it's not necessarily a straightforward path is the purpose journey, but it does all come together if you're committed to your personal journey as an abundant warrior. And I call it an abundant warrior because we know as women on purpose, we know that there is a better way. And in this dysfunctional world that we're living in, regardless of what you believe, there are so many societal pressures that we have, so many societal things that we are led to believe that aren't necessarily true, and in some circumstances they're incredibly the untruth. It's the absolute opposite. So I want to give you the call, what it feels like. Who am I speaking to here? And I think if you're here, it's probably you. But yes, my plan to save the world was that global responsible community. But when I took it to my business advisor, she said to me, Alex, the world isn't ready. What the world needs now is what you have to share, how you can be so on purpose, how can you can be so positive, so prosperous. So, I was absolutely passionate about making the world a better place. And I want, if I could bottle that up and give that to you, I would, but I can't. So she said to me, go home and write a book, which I did, which was the A Woman on Purpose book, which got to best-selling status on Amazon. And then I started writing poems, which I didn't know I was going to do, which now reach a global audience of over 70,000 women from any creed or culture. But I wish I could just give it to you. I wish we were all on purpose right now, because if we were all like that, we could create this global responsible community. So that's my end mission. And I know that if you're here, that you feel like that. So the Abundant Warrior is showing people a win-win way by living that win-win way, regardless of where we are. In fact, in spite of where we are, because we need to, because where we are in the world right now. I will show you everything I possibly can. This is for everybody. It doesn't matter whether you are a man or a woman or a child. And it doesn't matter where you come from in the world. It doesn't matter what creed, culture, religion, political belief it is. It's all the same thing. Now, how I got to this is because I was poorly. I was given the gift of time. So I went through all of these life's meanings questions because I had that gift of time. And I know that it takes many years. So for me, I've been on a spiritual quest since I was about 12, when I was brought up Catholic, and I went to confession, and the priest took away the cloth, and he looked at me and he said, you've been a very naughty girl because you haven't been to confession in so long. So I went away and I thought, that's not right. And I thought, is there a religion for me? So I went looking, and I did that for years. I was still doing that when this came along. Business journey. I made my first profit at the age of 17 for a community, arts community that I put back together again because I was passionate about theatre and music and giving back to the community in the form of a charity. So I made that at the age of 17. My business journey also started then because I'd worked my way up. I lived in South Africa. I didn't have Afrikaans. I was an immigrant. So I was put at the back of the class and called an immigrant and not taught Afrikaans, so I didn't go to university. I actually went to a college where I studied business studies, but regardless of that, I wasn't allowed to do what everybody else was doing. So I had to build my way up. So I went from telephonist to receptionist, typist, accountancy, production and sales. I've been through it all, and I ended up running a commercial music studio in Soho in the West End of London. So you can come from anywhere if you follow your purpose. But I bet you get to this next stage. You probably did as much as you possibly could. Not all of us do. I was one of those girls that knew exactly what I wanted, and I did everything I possibly could to achieve it. But then I lost it all. You know, when I did have my baby, I became very hormonal, but I think that helped with the tumour growth. And then I lost all sense of identity. Everything. I wasn't heard, I wasn't seen, I was so desperate. I lost my home, I lost everything, money. I had my parents come to help me with my child because every road that I followed was a dead end. And I did follow plenty of roads. And so this is about that road. This is helping you shorten that road to purpose. This is about you becoming your warrior self and helping make the world a better place in your way. Not all of us are going to be leaders, and that's why I show you this, so that you can gain the confidence to take this journey now. You don't have to lead if you do not want to, but you're probably leading in some capacity, whether that's in the home or in your community. Most women do. So I want to share this with you as quickly as I possibly can. I do not want this to be long and drawn out. If you choose to work with me afterwards, fine. But if you want to share this message, I encourage you to do so, because you are needed. We are all needed in this world right now. There is disparity more than we've ever seen, more than our parents have ever seen, more than when the Second World War finished. So I will give you the reasons why. I will show you the way. I will see if it's for you, and you can see exactly what path there is. And then I'll probably put together a little map so that you can see what part of the journey you're on and what steps you'd like to take next. I probably haven't managed to fit everything in, but I hope that when the business advisor said to me, go home, write a book, tell people how to do it, that I can share with you how to do it, so that together we can all be on purpose, we can all be abundant warriors and make the world a better place together. Just one more thing. The reason this is a women-led uprising, the Phoenix UpRising I like to call it, a revolution led by women, is because I believe it's time. And I suspect that you believe it's time too. And we can do it differently. There are doctrines that we need to leave behind. And everything that I've done has worked I've tried to get to be practical and filling out spiritually, but in the world that we live in, not in a make-believe world, not going off to retreat and never coming back, but in an everyday practical way of life, so that we can really, really make a difference. I'll see you in the first lesson, which is the call of the abundant